What's up, Raider Nation? Thank you for joining me, but realistically, you ain't got nowhere else to go, so you should be watching me. Hey guys, make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you're sharing it. Hit that notification if you really want to be up to date on these videos, because I'm going to be dropping a lot more coming up soon. As you know, we've got the draft coming up. We still have some free agency stuff. We've got hopefully OTAs. We've got hopefully season starting. And more news is going to be dropping. I'm going to keep dropping these videos for you. Long story short, we're still at home. We're stuck in this stay-at-home order. And, you know, there's a lot of things that have been going on around the league, around the nation. But really what we're going to dive into is what are we looking forward to for Raider football? Now, the NFL draft will be held on April 24th through the 25th, just as it was planned. The NFL will not be having fans there. They will not be having a fan event. There will be no people there. From what I'm being told, it's going to be a virtual draft, and EA Sports is going to be working with the teams and the players drafted to put something together so you have that virtual draft. So you could potentially see players walking out on stage that are like Sims, basically. It'd be like this guy here. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with the draft. The good news is, because the draft was scheduled to be held in Vegas and they know that Vegas missed out for the draft, you're now going to get to see potentially the draft being hosted in Las Vegas in 2022. So Raider Nation, get ready. The draft is coming back to Vegas in 2 years. You have 2 years to prepare your livers, 2 years to prepare your bail. You have 2 years to get ready. It's going to be great. Also, good news, and hopefully, it looks like the president had a conversation with the commissioners of the leagues, NFL, MLB, NHL, MLS, and it looks to be that football should be in play in September. Now, obviously, we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes down the road. We'll see, you know, what happens with this virus. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that everybody stays safe. So if you're not staying home, stay your ass at home. Come on, man. I want to get out. I know it's raining today, but it's about to be warm, and I want to be able to enjoy the sun. I want to be able to enjoy my kids. I want to be able to go out and throw the football. I want to be able to go actually watch a football game and not sit here and watch reruns. I mean, it is nice to see the Niners lose the Super Bowl, but at the same time, you see the Chiefs win, so it's a wash. At the end of the day, we want everybody to stay safe and healthy. Now, let's get back into what this is about. With this virus and with the way that things are going, teams are either at an advantage or a disadvantage. You've got some teams that have a veteran staff, a veteran coaching staff, veteran quarterbacks, veteran team. You also have a lot of teams that have a new quarterback coming in, or a new quarterback that was brought in on free agency. You have a new coach. You have a new scheme that's being put into place. There's a lot of intangibles that go into this that are going to make up the makeup of what the season's going to look like. You look at a team like the Raiders, and the reason why I talk about the Raiders is because this is a Raiders channel. Now, we look at what we have. We have Jon Gruden, who is a third-year head coach. We have Derek Carr, who is in year 3 of Jon Gruden's system at quarterback. We've got Josh Jacobs. We've got Darren Waller. We've got Hunter Renfrow. We've got Tyrell Williams, who are all coming back into this system. They all have a year under their belt in this system, with the exception of Waller. Waller has 2 years under his belt. But you're going to see more consistency, right? You see Derek Carr out there working with Zay Jones. Derek Carr out there working with newly acquired Nelson Aguilar. So there's already the work that's being put in. There's already the consistency because you have the plan put in place. You look at some of these other teams, you got the Chargers. Is Tyrod going to be the starter? How much of this offense does he know? Or do they roll with somebody else? Do they draft a quarterback? You look at the Broncos. Obviously, they've got Drew Lock. They just released Flacco. Is Drew Lock the guy? KC, we already know what KC's going to do. That's who we're game planning for. I would focus on everything KC. KC both times on the calendar and try to do everything we can to stop them. We need to go into Arrowhead. We need to beat them in Arrowhead. We need to beat them in Las Vegas. We need to beat KC. End of story, point blank, hands down, no questions asked. But you also look at the opponents. You look at some of the teams that we're going to be facing. Tampa Bay. We've got Indy. We've got New Orleans. So we've got some quarterbacks that some we have familiarity against. The Indianapolis Colts and Phillip Rivers. Hopefully his favorite receiver, Eric Harris, will be playing that day. We obviously know how well that Paris does against Rivers. And then you also have some guys that we don't have a lot of familiarity against, but we've had some success. Now, obviously, Tom Brady, we haven't had a ton of success against him. We can reference back to this as the point of what happened.
I saw Charles Woodson. Brady fumbled that ball.
Then you have Drew Brees, where, if you remember, 2016, we had a great Week 1 win against the Saints. Hopefully we can beat the Saints again this year, because I think that puts us on a path to beating these better teams. We've done a great job of beating teams that we should beat. We haven't done a great job of beating teams that we shouldn't beat, and we need to get into that position where we're beating teams that we shouldn't beat, but it should become teams that we should beat because we're good enough to beat those teams. I just said a mouthful. Rewind it back, listen again, play it twice. What I'm saying is the Raiders need to be a playoff contender. End of story. Going into this season, there's a lot to be excited about. You've got Josh Jacobs, who's coming off of the Offensive Rookie of the Year campaign. You've got Max Crosby, who's coming off the Defensive Rookie of the Year campaign. You've got Clelin Ferrell, who's going to be coming in healthy, and he's going to be playing mainly at his prime position of defensive end. You've got a guy like Malik Collins who comes in and brings tenacity to that defensive tackle position. You've got linebackers like Nick Kwiatkowski and Corey Littleton who are going to get in there and make plays and cover tight ends and blitz the quarterback, hopefully, because Paul Guenther doesn't blitz, and we need to see some blitzes. What most excites me right now is what we've got at safety. We just added Demarius Randall, who is a hard-hitting safety out of the Cleveland Browns. He's had some great success with the Browns. He's had some great success with the Packers. I think last year was the only year that he hadn't recorded an interception. Every year prior to that, he had at least 4 a season. So he's a ball hawk. And then you pair him with a guy like Jonathan Abram, who is a hard-hitting box safety who wants to knock somebody out. And we saw it clearly in the Denver game first week of the season, where he popped his own shoulder out, played the rest of the game. But I think that he's going to be a guy that's going to be a major factor on our defense. You've got Trayvon Mullen on one side at corner. We still need some help at corner. We had Eli Apple. He failed his physical. Contract was voided. We didn't come to terms. Moving on. What do we do? What are our next steps? What are the Raiders going to do? And that's where you look at, do you address it in the draft, or do you address it in free agency with a guy like Logan Ryan, who is requesting a $10 million price tag? Pretty steep. I personally think that we should go with the draft. But we'll see what Mayock and Gruden decide to do. Now, Raider Nation, the good news is the draft is right around the corner. There's a lot for us to get excited about. Me and my dog, Cody, if you don't follow him or if you don't subscribe, make sure you check out his channel, Raider Cody on YouTube. You can't miss him. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notifications, hitting that thumbs up, and share this video. Thanks.